I'ma soon forget. So far between the lines, I'ma write a new set, a new beginning. Reflecting on the times that were that hard. I've fallen down many times, but I got mad hard.
All right, what it do, YouTube? Mexican Lee's Therapy Garage. It's your boy Mexican Lee coming back with another video. This one's gonna be again on my son's 81 Buick Regal that we're putting together for him. We're gonna go ahead and start getting the motor put together, finishing putting it together, and then get it married to the transmission. But I got a few things that I want to do to it real quick. A gasket that I want to change that I think is okay, but I don't want to let it go and then something happen later, it starts leaking later, and then we got to pull the motor back out. It's the rear main seal. Let me get this camera switched around and show you real quick. So this is the motor. It's out of my 88 Chevy Caprice, the Wolverine. Ended up having to take the heads in to get rebuilt. Those are all installed now. Got the valves set. Everything's pretty much ready to go. We put the intake on it last night, cleaned it up. I was going to paint it, but I mean, I don't know how long. I'm going to see how he takes care of this thing first, and then later on we'll do some more upgrades to it or a little bit more cleaning, detailing. But for now, I got to get it running. That way he can go get his little job, get back and forth to school. That way he can have transportation. So we'll see how that goes. I just got back from O'Reilly's. I had to get a couple grommets for the valve covers. I got the old ones, but they were a little rotted, so I wanted to get brand new ones. I got those. This is the gasket that I want to change. It's the rear main seal. And like I said, this one looks fine. I had the motor rebuilt. Man, this motor's probably got maybe 5,000 miles on it, if that. When I put it in the Regal for my oldest son, he drove it back and forth to work a couple times, and then that's when he overheated it and blew the head gasket. So he didn't put many miles on it. And when I had it in the Wolverine, I didn't drive that car much. It was a show car, so I didn't drive it much. But this gasket looks fine, but we're gonna go ahead and put a new one in it. So I need to get this old seal out and then get this retainer off and go ahead and put a new gasket behind it. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. That way we can go ahead and put the oil pan back on it and get the flywheel back on, get those bolts torqued, and then we'll go ahead and get the transmission off of the engine stand and put the seals in the front and back, input and output shaft seals. We'll get those installed. Get the torque converter put back on it, and then marry it to the transmission. That way we can go ahead and get the transmission lines cleaned up. And just now we're just kind of going in the car and finding all the bolts. Got them all cleaned up. My son sat out here the other night with the wire wheel and the drill and cleaned a lot of the bolts. I just got to remember exactly where they all go. I haven't worked on this car in a while. So there's a few things. I have a electric fuel pump on the car, so I put a safety switch, oil pressure switch on it, so that way if the engine ever lost oil pressure, it would shut down the engine, shut down the fuel pump, so that way it wouldn't ruin the engine. So I had that wired in to two separate ones, one for the light and then one for that fuel pump. So I got to remember them wires as well. I did mark these, but I know I got a paper around here somewhere from when I put it in the car to keep it as my notes. But this is the project for today. So I didn't make a video putting the heads on and torquing them and stuff like that. I should have, but I was kind of in and out the shop, having the issues with the back. There's days where, like I told y'all before, I come home from work and I'm not feeling it. I come in here to get some stuff done. I was hoping to have this done already and in the car, but it ain't working out as fast as I want it to. It's getting there, but not as fast as I want it to, because I was hoping to already this week get started back on this and get this body work done before it gets cold. So we got the upgraded alternator that I put on it. It's from a 95 Fleetwood. That way it's a 140 amp alternator. My son cleaned up the brackets. The starter got cleaned up. So all that's pretty much set to go. We're just now, like I said, getting ready to change this seal. Then we can put the oil pan on. I already got the timing chain cover gasket and seal put on. So she's almost ready. She's almost ready. But I just wanted to kind of give y'all an update on what we got going on here. So all the pulleys are painted and stuff, ready to go. Let me take y'all outside again real fast. This is kind of, I'm gonna say, a dilemma that I'm in. But before, when we had this car running, when my other son was driving it, it was intermittently losing power to start, and we couldn't figure out why. I think I have an idea. I think it's the fuse box where it's bolting to the firewall. I think one of them screws was stripped, so where it connects to the outside engine harness, I believe that was kind of moving and losing power. So I think that was causing the issue as far as having the intermittent starting issue. But she would still have power to the lights. Everything would power up except being able to hit that key and crank the car over. So I need to, before we put this motor in the car, I need to get that wire harness out and double check it. I need to go through it. So we're going to take the engine harness off here on the firewall, and I'm gonna go back through all my wiring and see what I need to fix, if anything. I don't know if it's a short or something I might have missed when we first put the engine in the car. We need to get in here and degrease this thing really good and clean it up. She's sat for a nice few years, couple years, so we need to get this thing cleaned back up, man. We're gonna pull it out here in a little while and shoot some degreaser in here and power wash her down real good. I ordered a new kit for the heater box. So I do believe I had already changed the evaporator core and the heater core when we first put this car back together. So that stuff may be still good. I just need to flush it. But the AC pump is still hooked up. I just don't know if it still has pressure. But all this stuff was new. I had put a new condenser in here. So all that worked. It was just we were having an issue with the blend doors working. So I think I got, that's why I just want to take the whole box out and rebuild it. But I got the new kit, the new seal kit coming for that. So we'll do a vacuum test on all the little vacuum canisters or valves that are on the AC box. We'll go ahead and test those. Even if I have to put a brand new blower motor on it. But we're gonna get all that situated, man, because either way it goes, with my younger son getting this car and him driving it for his first car, if they don't tear it up, if he eventually wants to get a new car later, then I'll go ahead and just give them money, buy this one from them, and I'll finish it up myself. Because I love Regals, man. I love G bodies. I had a 65 Impala, which y'all seen in some of my videos. I always wanted a lowrider, an old school lowrider. I had, you know, Regals and Cutlasses and Monte Carlos on hydraulics, but I always wanted an old school, man. That's why I bought that Impala. And I sold it, but I wasn't feeling it. So now I'm a little too old for hydraulics. Not necessarily too old. It's just with my back issues and stuff like that. I don't know if that ride will really, you know, stop me from enjoying the car. So that's why I'm not going hydraulics. But it's my SS. I had an issue with the carburetor. The carburetor that I originally bought for this car wasn't for the Chevy setup. So when I would go ahead and hit it, you know, punch it wide open throttle, she was surging, like she was wanting to cut off, like it was starving for fuel. So I went ahead and went back to my carburetor guy. He had the exact 4-barrel carburetor that the Chevy motor originally had without the computer controlled sensors in it. So I bought that, bolted it up, and now she purrs. She runs perfectly. I can hit 120 in that 305 easy. So that's what I needed. He did go through the other carburetor I bought from him. It was past the little warranty that he offered, but he told me he'll open it up, clean it up, make sure everything works the way it's supposed to, and then either leave it on his shelf for sale for me and then sell it for me, or I can go pick it up and then sell it. But he offered to do that for me for free, so he's a good guy, man. But that's what we got going on, man. And no, it's not a Grand National. I know that. I just like that hood. I've always liked that hood with that scoop on it, and that's why I put it on this car. So I might even go as far as doing the newer year nose on the car and updating that. I just like the grill on the newer cars. What is it, 80, 85, 86, 87? I like the grill on those cars. So I might do that later too, but for now we're gonna get this thing up and running. So let me cut this video off and get to getting this gasket done. All right, YouTube, we're back. All right, here we go. We got it. We got the gasket, the retainer off of the block, cleaned it all up, degreased it. So she's ready to get back, ready to for me to install it. Got the gasket set right here. There's directions in there that specify to not put any type of sealant or oil or anything on this seal. It's got to go on dry. And the gasket's got to go on dry too. So we're going to go ahead and try to attempt to getting this thing installed. It's got to be installed nice and straight. That way it doesn't, with this kit, it's got the little sleeve in there. See that little white plastic ring in there? That's what helps protect the lip that seals up against the crank when it gets installed. That way it doesn't chafe it, rip it, damage it. So this is part number BS 40626, made by Felpro, rear main seal. So now that we got everything cleaned and degreased, we're going to go ahead and put the retainer on first with the brand new gasket, get it torqued. Then we'll go ahead and press the seal in. So let's cross our fingers and make sure we do this correctly. Like I said, I've never done one of these before, but let's go. All right, YouTube, we're back. Okay, so we got the seal on. She's all ready to go. Went ahead and took this retainer off. I was gonna say adapter. Took the retainer off, cleaned it all up, degreased it really good, pressed the seal in. Everything's tightened up, torqued, and sealed up here. So now what I noticed, I was cleaning this area off down here so I can get the oil pan on, but I noticed, you can't really see it in the camera, but on this little plastic clip right here that holds the oil pump shaft, it's got a crack in it, a very small tiny crack in it, and those things fail after time. And every time I open a motor up, I'll always change it out to a one-piece unit that Melling makes, and this part number is, for my motor, IS-55E. So it's a one-piece unit. This right here replaces the little plastic shaft clip, this right here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to take this apart and get this shaft out of here without having to pull my oil pump off, and get this set in there. That way we can go ahead and get this oil pan on, sealed up, torqued, and then pull the engine off of here and get this transmission set up so we can go ahead and get the seals replaced and bolt this transmission up to the motor. So let me hurry up and get that done real quick. All right, YouTube, we're back. We are pretty much completed with the block. Went ahead and swapped out the rear main seal and gasket for the retainer. Got all that situated, got the bolts torqued down. We just installed the flywheel, got that completed. Got the oil pan on and torqued down. I had to run to O'Reilly's and get a oil pan gasket. I thought I had one here in the shop, which I didn't. So now the block is pretty much done and ready. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this video up. But let me show you real quick what we got completed. So she's looking really, really nice. We went ahead and torqued all these bolts, brand new gasket all the way around, brand new seal for the balancer, oil pan, then the retainer back here with the rear main seal. Got all that situated, everything's all torqued and ready to go. So yeah, man, the block's pretty much done. She's sealed up, I ain't got to worry about nothing getting in there. I got the little grommets, I had to order those, so I got those. We'll pop those in there, put some plugs in there so nothing gets inside the block. We're gonna go ahead and set this aside. I'm gonna go ahead and put the water pump on, get that torqued down. Then we'll set this aside for a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and get this transmission down and change these seals. But that's it for the 88 4.3 V6 262. She's ready to marry this transmission, y'all. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
I'ma soon forget. So far between the lines, I'ma write a new set, a new beginning. Reflecting on the times that were that hard. I've fallen down many times, but I got mad hard.